There have been reunions in the past that I really look forward to seeing
Yes.
with other reality-based TV series about
Yeah.
relationships, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
This was not one of them.
I wonder why. It feels like 1,000 years.
Welcome to Cliff Alerts. Today we're going to be talking about Lifetime Network's reality-based TV series, Married at First Sight, season number 16, Nashville Reunion Part 1.
But before we get into it, please like, share, and subscribe. Please click that notification button so you know when we upload new content. And we thank you and appreciate you. Clint has moved from the building. He's no longer Gina's neighbor. He's now living in the building where Nicole and Chris are living.
And speaking of Nicole, she found out that ever since the decision day, and her and Chris have gone on as the only married couple from the season to have survived the process, that maybe she ought to think twice about getting into other people's business because she got a taste of her own medicine.
Mom too said that people are meeting her in the streets and what all that stuff and talking ish to her, and she doesn't like it.
Mhm.
When asked if anyone is sliding into a DM, she said no, and clearly Gil didn't take the bait of a date.
And speaking of Dom, indirectly, shall we say, her ex-husband, Mac, uh, finally revealed that, you know what, maybe he was a little hard on her as it relates to her motivations behind getting a dog bow.
Yeah, he was a little petty.
No, he was a lot petty for that. He wasn't
Okay.
a little petty, he was a lot petty. Okay.
Yeah.
But at least he was man enough to own up to it,
Right.
on TV, which is something that maybe a few of the other cast members have yet to do.
Exactly.
So
So
let me give him a little bit of dap for that.
a little bit.
Yeah, yeah. Hmm.
They brought up the situation with Clint, and again he apologized for the statement. To
For
me,
the 45th time.
it was overblown. Much ado about nothing, basically. Clint is referencing his the type of body that he
The
likes,
choice, yeah, his body
his
choice, right.
choice, and it had nothing to do with them. But they all got a little salty about it.
Took
Um,
offense.
it was girl, look in that mirror and slap it and say, "Thank you, Jesus."
Right.
Oh, in fact, let Chris slap it
Yeah, I'm sure he would do that.
and, and thank the Lord for the blessings, for the bounce.
Right, right, exactly.
You know, that bounce can cure a whole lot of what ails you.
And it makes an impression on the brother too.
So
You know?
keep the
Yeah.
focus on you and Chris's situation at the
Right,
house.
right. Also, Jasmine got a chance to situation that happened with Eris's, is it cousin?
Yeah, he's letting
Felina.
his play cousin.
Right. Felina came all out of her face and all out of her mouth, having just met Jasmine, around the time that they got married, and basically saying that she's pageant lady and that she's fake.
Once Iris heard about it, they showed us new footage of him telling her that he likes strong women.
Right, right. And instead of owning his ish and trying to understand how she might have been offended by that and not supported by that, Eris kind of doubled down and said, like you said, that he liked strong women. And if that weren't salt in the wound, his buddy Matt decided to chime in and add his uh, 2 cents, okay, because that's about all his comment was worth, if that. And that's probably 3 cents too much. Um, he said that he could see how
Conflicted.
conflicted Eris was.
Eris don't know anything about Jasmine, so don't know whether she is strong or not. And she even mentioned that.
Exactly.
So he being able to label her in a way that was negative based on what Felina or Filina or whatever her name is said was unfortunate.
Yeah, and it was something that I guess he had to be and should have been rightly called out on, and eventually he got around to apologizing to his now ex-wife.
But why was he on the show to begin with? He
because
didn't come to be married.
no, he came to find I guess a
Uh,
big booty partner or whatever, and
because one of the things he references the when asked what kind of woman he's attracted to, he mentioned Serena Williams. And anybody who watches tennis and knows about Serena and her game knows Serena has a whole lot of assets. In fact, she got a black ground on top of a black ground.
on top of a black man. Stop me when I'm lying.
And
I'm a tennis player, so
and
I can say it.
even people who are not interested in tennis will stop to watch what you got going on in front and at the back.
When Serena's on the side, you do like this.
Is that what you do, baby?
No,
Uh,
no.
I thought I had something background
Oh,
as
you
well.
got a black round on top of a black like,
They don't know that.
but I do.
And asked whether he can tell us, the viewers, why he went in on Jasmine with his negativity. He refused to do so.
Yeah, Kevin Frazier, the host for the show, kind of wanted to get specific with him, and I think he kind of felt like he didn't want to
People
talk
to
himself
drag
into
him.
a deeper hole than he kind of felt like he was already
Yeah.
in. So he kind of sidestepped the question.
Right. He dragged her
Right,
for 16 weeks.
right.
And I could see she was being gracious to him, but I would have sold every last tape he had and then some.
Yep. And the remix on it, on the
The
remix on it.
remix.
This gets back to your original question. Why the hell was he on the show?
Delightful.
And one thing's for sure, he was able to con Pastor Cal and Dr. Pepper his way and producers on his way to the show because
Right.
he's all about what smashing and dashing,
Right. Yeah,
and he tried to convince us that yeah he was ready to do
so much so that he even made a comment that, they gotta have an open marriage. In
it.
20 years, they gotta have an open marriage. It's a whole lot of ish. In 20 years, you wanna have an open marriage? To boy, please. You could sell that to Santa Claus if you want to. I mean, give me a break.
Yeah, exactly.
Who does he think he's talking to?
I don't know. I don't know. He must not know. There's a whole lot of grown folk viewers out there. You can see right through that all that foolishness, that
Oh,
nonsense.
yeah, bless Jasmine for that because she endured something that I would not have put up with.
Yeah,
And
and you know
you
what?
could see,
You know what that also includes. Oh, that also includes being friend zoned. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
Why after somebody treats you like that would you want to continue to like friends?
secrets for them.
Right, right,
No, all
right.
bets are off.
No,
I'm sorry.
no.
Well, Adrian came on and she really didn't have anything to say, basically. But one thing she did say about Jasmine is that Jasmine is concerned about her image and the kids that she trained. But left to her own devices, she would be all up in there with Eris. Because Eris shared with her that he was not going to choose her, that opportunity basically to save
Save
face.
face.
And there it is.
Right. Next, host Kevin Frazier had a chance to talk with the only couple that made it through this process, and that being Chris and Nicole.
Right, and they look happy still. No big arguments. They're doing well so far, and we are happy for them. Next.
Alrighty then. What?
What?
Why y'all? What? Do we say
What?
so? Stop us!
What?
Stop us when we're wrong, y'all. Hmm?
Can we move on?
Yes, yes. The wives or former wives are on the set now. The thing that he asked, which one of y'all is the one that everybody else goes to advice, and all of them said in unison, Nicole,
Oh,
she's Mama Bear, and I'm like wondering how the hell did she earn that title by being nosy and being in other people's business?
Nicole is mama bear to
Yeah,
these ladies.
yeah, exactly, exactly.
They're not swimming in a really deep pool, are they? I'm just saying. If
Or in the forest
Nicole,
with a lot of woods. Yeah.
yeah, if Nicole is mama bear, that means she's the smartest one in the room. What does that tell you?
Maybe some problems.
That's all I'm gonna say about that. What else they got?
Mm.
Jasmine said that she was obviously emotional about the whole situation with Eris, and I thought that she unfortunately went through the most
Mhm.
with Eris because she allowed him to drag her, and she didn't see herself as being valuable enough to tell him what for.
One of the strangest things that was just left me scratching my head in this segment was when Nicole referenced Kirsten and how she and some of the other ladies felt like she needed a man, and that man, in their minds, was her ex-husband, Shaq.
When wisdom is not present, foolishness.
Abounds.
It's it's like a boomerang. It just keeps bouncing all around. Both Kristen and Shaq needs to heal themselves individually to know who they are, and for them to come off of some issues that they may have to be better people. Because one thing we know for sure, if we can pivot to Shaq and Kristen,
Mhm.
at the end, any man who says that I felt I was not good enough for you is a man who is not where he should be mentally. And if he chooses to leave, you gotta let him go. Because he is talking about his self-worth, his
And
self-esteem,
not being where it
and not
could
when
and should be
exact
for him to be able to do what his role is in their relationship.
right. And every day he sees her, he's gonna think that
Question it.
he is not good
Inadequate.
enough.
He's gonna feel inadequate.
That's a horrible way to live.
And one that's
That's
not sustainable.
But right through here,
Right.
if Shaq thinks that he's not good enough,
He's got issues to deal
and if not, that woman in the house is going to be a big problem for him.
with.
And bitterness and resentment will turn to anger, and anger will have its way. So they are not suited in this time, in this moment, right now.
Because I agree with that part of it.
They need to find who they are. Anything less is going to be disastrous. And I understand he could feel a way because, he wants her, but he's not ready for her. And that's the point. And she may want to save face, but she's not ready for him either
Yeah, yeah,
because
and
she can't give him what he wants.
I agree with you because there are there's an old adage, I guess, and it says hurt people,"
Yeah.
and I'm not saying it was intentional, but there are two hurt people there dealing with one another, and it ended up panning out to be a hurtful experience.
Yes. Because I felt for him when he said, I feel like I'm not good enough for you.
Yeah,
You know what
yeah,
I mean? Men
yeah.
don't talk like that.
I was just getting ready to say
Men don't
very
say
very
stuff
few men
like
say
that.
yeah say make that kind of revelation about themselves.
No, they don't.
Very few.
They will keep that on the down low.
Right, right, to themselves
Yes,
and work on, if they need to work on something, then like I said, they'll put it in the backpack and keep on rolling and and work on it along the way.
he said he started back therapy,
Eating.
and therapy will has a way of breaking you wide open,
Yep.
and then you start to be truthful in what you're saying. So I understand why he would share that with
Come
us.
on, preach, wifey. Come on, preach.
Because therapy is painful,
It
that
must.
and if the therapist is good, she will crack you open like a nut.
Walnut.
Yeah.
Mm.
And I mean, she may not lay hands on you, but Lord have mercy,
Get mental open.
that drive home to the house,
Your mind.
like Anita said, woo wee. So I'm glad he's in therapy. I'm glad he's getting the help that he needs. And I hope Kristen does the same thing as well. But right through here, those two people don't need to be together. That's
Yeah, and
my way of thinking.
and there, I guess also too from Kirsten's end, she was able to, move at least in a primary way um, past this place of anger bitterness that
Yeah.
she had because she was embarrassed or feelings hurt.
I think the embarrassment
Yeah,
was there.
yeah. On decision day when Shaq, I guess, said something that she didn't expect in
But
whatever decision.
I gotta say, neither Shaq or Kristen talk about love, and I find that peculiar.
Yeah, yeah. They always talked about this communication thing that they had that they never could get over, and timing.
Mhm.
They never had time to really kind of get to where they needed to be and wanted to
Right.
be.
I hate that Shaq brought up that his professor, who's a pastor, told him some yada yada
Gave him some
yada.
advice
Yeah, that
about what to
was,
about how to handle decision
oh
day.
my God.
You should not have referenced that. I
No,
don't think.
not at all.
But you don't want to leave anybody else, the viewers, nor at that time your wife, with the impression that, you know what, I don't know what to do, so I'm going to have somebody else make the decision for me, who I, you know, seek out in terms of counsel and or advice. No,
Yeah,
that other person is not married to your wife. You are. You need to
yeah.
make that decision.
It's like he's a faucet. You just open it and everything just pours out.
Hmm.
But we wish them well.
Absolutely.
So we're gonna talk about Miss Gina and Mr. Clint.
Uh-huh.
Not a whole lot to say, but two of them tried to BS us. Kevin asked them, "Oh, they were so perfect. He wanted them to be together. Yada yada yada. Why didn't it work?" And Gina had her little nonsense. It's like a old ditty. She keeps bringing it over and over again. And Clint said something over and over again. Why they didn't get together? And then Kevin asks, "Okay, well, do you think it can happen?"
Ever work out in the
You do
future?
it. And Clint said, "I don't know. You ask Gina." And Gina said, "Well, anything could happen."
It's anything's possible.
And the next sentence was Clint informing us that he now has a girlfriend that he's been dating for months. And Miss Gina is locked in with
Her
what's
business.
his face?
Michigan Mac.
She may be locked in with that. The only thing that was really interesting between those two was Hank,
Mhm.
and I miss that munchkin. But I'm not interested to hear anything neither of them have to say. Gina and Clint have the heart to tell us they're closer now.
Like we
That
care. And I don't want to sound harsh, but they were pretending the entire time, and especially from my vantage point, especially from Gina's end.
puff up fast.
Right. I don't want none of what she's smoking, boy.
Okay.
None of it. I don't know what she got stashed from Michigan Mac or what. I don't want none of it.
Michigan Mac.
Michigan Mac.